Hi, this is Corey, Matt's wife. I'm here to talk about guiding a blind person or visually impaired person. So I am making a guide to being a guide. If you'd like to learn more, join me. Thank you.
Nice. Good job, guys. Yeah.
Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Corey, and I'm on Matt's channel, Blind to Billionaire, and I'm here today to talk about what it's like to be a guide for a blind or visually impaired person. So I have been with Matt for about 3.5 years, and this is my only experience with guiding someone who is visually impaired. So I'm not an expert, but I have, I've been doing it a little while, and so I'll give you some of my tips, some things that I find challenging, things that I find just kind of how I do it, and hopefully you will find it helpful as well. So I think the biggest things when you're being a guide to somebody is to watch out for them so that they don't injure themselves. So when you're walking, I think it's important as a guide to feel like you have kind of like the person you're with. Like Matt and I hold hands. I know some people hold different ways, like the back of an arm or whatnot. We haven't done that. We just hold hands. And when we're walking, I make sure to kind of scan the ground so that there's nothing like, no like particular obstacle in our way, or like a big rock if we're walking on this, a sidewalk, or just anything to trip over. And then I also try and keep watch over to make sure no tree branches are in the way, or like if we're at a store and there was like things that stick out of clothes, like hanger things, so that at any level he's not getting hit by anything. And it's honestly not that easy to do all the time, because I feel like, sometimes I don't succeed, I guess, in keeping him safe. But I do try my best. You have to be pretty focused when you're guiding someone. And so that means that you can't look at your phone. You can't, don't be distracted when you're guiding someone, because it's safety. And when you're giving instructions for like stepping up a step or going down a step, it's best to say things like don't say look out or watch your head or you should duck, because then they don't know what's going on. I think as well as if you say, okay, in 3 steps there's a step up or just step down, kind of giving simple instructions that are clear versus a bunch of words, which again, I know I'm not like that great at, but that's what we're supposed to do. And something I read somewhere, and then I've been doing this with Matt, and I think it's helpful, is when we're walking on a sidewalk and we're in a neighborhood and there are driveways that slope down, I have him be on the inside, like away from the street, and me be on the street side, so that I'm the one walking on more uneven ground versus him, because it's just a little easier. Or even mentioning to him like there's a slope down or a slope up, just so that he kind of knows that there's an incline change. The more verbal cues that you can give, the better. And I think that the more specific words you use, the better. I find that the most challenging places for me to guide are places where I'm distracted, which essentially is basically everywhere, but it's worse when I'm in, like if I'm shopping for like clothes, stuff like that, because then on top of trying to be a good guide, I'm also kind of distracted, like looking at clothes and or like prices of stuff, and then I feel like I'm not really giving him any like kind of verbal cues about the world around us, and then that's not a good experience for him. So something that I try and do is try really hard to give descriptions of the stuff around us. So if it's a place that we're both familiar with from back when he was sighted or that we've been to a bunch of times, I feel like it's a little easier. But if we're going to like a store that we've never been to and he wants to know, what's in the aisle, and we're at a hardware store, like I really don't know what that stuff is called. So then I always feel like I fumble a little more and I'm a little bit more cranky, basically. So yeah, that's right. A lot more cranky. So, but it's okay. I think that is challenging sometimes. I think it's challenging to be a guide, but I think that the biggest challenge is being the person who's being guided, because they don't have control. Matt doesn't have enough control, and he doesn't get to choose where we're going. He doesn't get to choose enough things. And so as frustrated as maybe I feel or as I seem, he didn't choose this and I did, so I have to be really mindful of that when I'm guiding and when I'm, trying to just be a good human. So I think the biggest things about guiding are focusing on the world around you, thinking about safety, and I think that being patient is probably the biggest thing in general when you're guiding someone. Let the person who's being guided take in their surroundings, by, taking time to like take in the smells, take in the sounds. I have a really, I can see, and so it's easy for me to take in a lot of stuff at once. But for Matt, he should get to experience the things he can experience without me like pulling him around everywhere. Ooh, which brings me to another good point about guiding. Don't pull people when you're guiding them. Go at their pace, or if you would like to go at a quicker pace or a slower pace, just like politely say, can we slow down or can we speed up? Instead of just like yanking someone around, because that's actually really easy to do as well. Just because, we're two different people and we both have our own agendas and kind of our own things that we want to accomplish that day. So those are some things that I would think of. I don't know that this is a super helpful video for everyone, but if you liked it, you can comment or you can like it. If you have any questions for someone like me, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I'm doing my best as a guide. I think that's kind of the best I can do, and I just want to continue to work hard at being a better guide. So have a nice day, and I will see you tomorrow, or most likely Matt will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.